Hello, internet friends. My name is Bay, and welcome to a extra podcasty-ish kind of series. I am part of the sort of raid strat design team for my guild this tier, going into the battle for Dazar'alor, and this is the raid boss breakdown series, where each episode's about an hour long, where we go through Dungeon Journal, other resources. There are huge Google documents that are put together by the community that we're kind of picking apart, and just PTR footage, and trying to coalesce all the different parts of every encounter, and then just sort of talk through the whole thing. So if you want to follow us along for the sort of organic learning process and pick up little tidbits, or, oh, I didn't think of that, then this might be a series that you could be interested in and discern a lot of random bits and pieces from. So enjoy, and this is going to be part 1, and you won't have to listen to this every single time. This is just like the pre-bumper. There's 9 of them in total, so here comes the video. Cut the video to the thing. Do it. Yeah, should we read? We gotta read the overview.
Oh, Jesus, okay. That's all you then.
So, yeah, Rawani. Huh? Well, not that. The lore, I don't...
Yeah.
But no, so we fight Rawani, because obviously these fights are the exact same on both sides, but it's a dwarf. It's a dark iron dwarf for the Horde, and the Alliance fight Rawani Kene. So she empowers herself with various seals and releases those seals to improve her allies whenever she reaches 100 energy. So she's a paladin with energy hacks. Additionally, her and her allies work to reduce the size of the battlefield for their enemies using both consecration and wave of light to do so. Crusader allies provide additional damage and crowd control for Rawani, while disciples heal wounded allies. Yeah, so there's the disciples, those are the priests. They're garbed in Black Temple gear. And the Zandalari Crusaders. So those are the Crusaders, yeah. Zandalari Crusaders. And the Razani Disciples. I guess the two major things, just consecration and wave of light. There is an inside-outside that I have noticed through people talking about this. People that I've either asked or, like, so that Alex and Laws made their little PTR video. But wave of light is super stupid slow, and consecration is just move the boss out of it. It's really...
I think, and also the hardest part is moving the ads out of the consecration. Because it can
Mass Dispel for it.
Yeah,
well, Mass Dispel or monks. With
Solar Beam is good because there's casters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can use Ring of Pieces.
Yeah, I saw that in some footage. People booping them out, Ring of Peace. Yep, of course. Yeah, because Consecrate to us just deals holy damage, but it reduces the damage taken by all Crusaders and Disciples by 50% while standing in it. So.
And Wave of Light heals them, correct?
So Wave of Light.
Hot.
Yeah, it inflicts
dot on people. It hits too.
Yeah, holy damage to enemies. It heals allies for 5% of their max health every second for 7 seconds, and if no allies are present, Wave of Light will target an enemy instead.
So this is gonna be Corey 2.0 for Zol, just purging them, because looking at these logs, they just have offensive purges on them sometimes. Like if we.
Well, I was gonna say, could you just like keep them there and not actually move them out?
Well, you gotta move from consecration.
Yeah, they're gonna have to move.
So, but you
like you move them out of the consecration, but could you just keep them in the Wave of Lights and not care?
Well,
yeah.
She only casts Wave of Light like on a cooldown, so there's time. The weird thing about this fight, based on the stuff in the PTR, is that the ads weren't threatening enough to matter, because you could just let them.
Nonsense,
yeah, you just let them heal, but then you just like zerg them down as like a raid. It's not like because you keep them apart for abilities we'll go over in a moment, but it doesn't seem like it's a pad on them garbage. It's just that you ignore them until you can't hit the boss, and then you AoE down all the ads, and you go back to the boss.
Because none of their healing can target the boss, actually.
Right.
Like heal can't target.
I don't
whatever
think they
her
can
fucking
penance. Yeah, they penance, but I don't think they can penance her.
Okay.
Well, no, they'll cast heal, penance, and.
But they do have to be interrupted, so that is a thing.
Yeah, heal heals a friendly target. Divine Burst just hits it's just Holy Fire on someone. It's a pretty chunky 40k zap. And then, yeah, Penance deals damage to the target, holy damage to an enemy, or 2% healing of maximum health to an ally every 1 second. So, I don't know if they can't target her, but...
They may be able to.
Is there a ranged? Can they be ranged? Like, do you outrange them? Do you move them on a different side of the room?
Well,
Does that matter?
Yeah, you want them far enough away as well, I think. Because I think if they're close to her, they buff her, I believe. Or there's some
They
type of-
just it's something with her seal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Receives a
they're too
blessing
close.
from a nearby ally's aura, increasing damage down by 15% and healing down by 15%, or retribution is what it is.
Yeah, so I guess we can backtrack then for like the seals that she does. So, or what the mechanics of the boss is. So she has seals. At the beginning of the fight, you will cast a seal upon herself, giving her additional abilities and causing her to gain energy. At 100 energy, she will release the seal, causing an additional effect. So on heroic, she only has retribution and reckoning. Yeah, so retribution and reckoning. She doesn't get a different. She has a different. There's this one major different ability on Mythic that we'll look at when we get there. But
It's Prayer of the Fallen. Is
Yeah.
what it is.
releasing the caster's current seal power, causing additional effects. So she puts up retribution, irradiates an aura. The cast radiates aura from themselves, increasing damage and healing done for all nearby allies. So that even though it says nearby in raid terms, it's probably at least 30 yards. Or 40. It could be 40 yards straight up. Melee attacks cause a retribution wave. Additionally, if any ally killed while the seal is active, it provides stacks of zealotry to the wearer. At 100 energy, the seal is released, giving an ally righteous blessing. This is the aura. Receives a blessing from nearby allies' aura, increasing damage done by 15 and healing done by 15. So that's the aura that empowers the adds. The wave just randomly inflicts holy damage to all enemies around. So that's just in all directions. Seems like it's just raid damage when she has retribution up. Mm-hmm. And then judgment is it increases the damage done by the ad by 200% and healing done by 150%. So that's if she judges on a friendly target.
I feel like that's range.
Yeah, at 100 energy, the seal is released. So, discerning this, it just sounds like you don't want any ads alive when she's going to release the seal of retribution, because then she'll buff an ad. Or if the ads are low, like it doesn't matter. That's kind of the thing that was looking at too, is that you can keep the ads low health, which also brings us to the cheese strat potential of just grouping them all up forever and just AoEing the crap out of them and moving them with the boss.
Yeah.
That's because if the ads aren't doing enough damage to the tank and you're just cleaving the crap out of them all and you boop them or dispel or just move them out with solar beams and rings of peace, then you just ignore the ads and you just blow up the boss. But you keep cleaving the ads down perpetually, right? I don't know if there's any reason why you should keep them alive.
No, I think we use the zealotry to avoid stacks of zealotries when we would kill the ads, right?
Yeah, if we kill them if we can heal through it, that's fine. But if we kill an
Right.
ad while she has that seal up and she gets 20 stacks, all the logs I've seen from the Mythic PTR testing, they killed it with about like 25 to 35 stacks of zealotry.
Yeah, and people
So-
go boom. Otherwise.
Otherwise, yeah. So we're gonna have to be careful about that.
Provides a reckoning strength to the caster because it all attack.
Yeah, zealotry is
all
just
attack.
yeah. All of her damage is holy damage, and the more ads you kill within the buff of the seal, buff her. But
yeah, she'll start nuking the shit out of people.
well, 2% more holy damage per stack, and I assume the whole point of zealotry is it lasts the whole fight.
Yeah, but then if
Yeah.
you kill an ad, she gets 20 on top of everything else she's getting. So we're gonna go.
Yeah. Because it's anytime you damage somebody with the Seal of Reckoning, and Seal of Reckoning is only 6 seconds, I believe. Or no, Seal of Reckoning avoid.
I don't know how long the seal lasts. If you have logs pulled up.
I think it's like a phase-based thing. Like it's like 30
Yeah.
seconds for the boss, 30 seconds
It's about
for
50.
50
Yeah.
seconds.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because
So it's
you can tell by damage taken because by far the biggest damaging ability is Retribution Away, and it comes in 50-second bursts.
Okay, yeah. Because then she switches between, because she puts up Retribution, has
Yeah,
a
you start the
duration
fight.
of it, judges it, and then puts up Reckoning. So the Reckoning is cause all attacks received from players to provide a stack of Zealotry. Additionally, the caster can now cast Reckoning. Players affected by Sacred Blade do not generate stacks of Zealotry. That's the tanks.
Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And 100 energy, the seal is released, causing the wearer to cast Judgment Reckoning, which is just a strikes the target with light infused weapon, inflicting large amount of holy damage to the main target. I guess it's a tank chunk.
It goes the whole raid.
Oh, it's the whole raid?
All
Yeah,
duration.
it's the big
it's-
AoE that's Devil Aura and forget about. The damage is
Oh.
actually really underwhelming.
Yeah.
From the
So
videos
it's
I've seen.
it's broken up into
It's
two things. You're
nothing.
right. Yeah.
That's basically where we're used. Like that's where healer CDs will be.
It's
Will
like
be
50k. It's 50k.
That's actually, we'll
yeah.
talk about that, but
Yeah.
that damage is actually really underwhelming, and I
It's
really
not that-
hope they buff it.
Tune it. Yeah.
Well-
Yeah, because the
also-
Retribution Wave ticks are way more damaging than the Judgment Reckoning. It's like
Okay, but that should real quotation marks should be spot healing, not
right, and but it's like it's spot healing, but everybody's damaging her, so they're damaging. And depending on how many melee we bring, every melee attack is going to generate Retribution Wave. So
Yeah.
it's like 50 seconds of oh shit healing, and then when she puts up Reckoning, that's when we're on the ads. And
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to get into healer stuff too much right now, but we're just gonna sit on our ass because
Yeah.
there's like literally no damage happening during that phase. It's
Well,
go
it
kill
just
the
looks. I mean, there's obviously a balance between. It's easy to attack the boss during Seal of Retribution, but you really don't want to attack the boss directly during Reckoning. Correct? That's
Right.
like the TD. That's like the.
ad. Yeah, for sure.
You're on the
That
ads.
double kill ads.
You're
You're on ads during
Red.
Retribution. You're on the boss during Reckoning. That's
Yep.
more or less what it is.
I think
And we'll
that's
have to.
opposite.
And when she
You
You kill
What
the
is it?
ads during Reckoning.
what
'Cause
is it
if-
exactly? Ads for
if
reckoning.
Seal
Yeah.
if she puts up Seal of Reckoning and we're all on her, she's gonna get a shit ton of Zealotry.
Yeah. No,
That's
you're
the
right.
real one.
I've
What
had
you
those
said was right, it was
backwards.
opposite.
Yeah. Reckoning is ads, and then Retribution is the boss. The only wiggle room there is because when you leave the Retribution phase, you want to make sure ads aren't super high HP, because the one that gets buffed is triple damage and 150% healing. So,
Well, all of our dot weavers or classes that gain extra energy and that stuff will be cleaving into those ads as they go.
Yeah.
And then obviously we want to interrupt where we can on the heals and all that stuff. As long as they can't heal the boss, we should be fine.
Checking that right now, actually. Ever
And
since
that's
I said-
like that's the key thing is if they can heal the boss or if they can't heal the boss.
yeah, I just don't know if is increasing the ads damage by 15% and healing done by 15% going to be enough of a reason to keep them super far away.
It's easier to make them dodge the wave of light if they're farther away.
Yeah, but he's saying, do we have to kill them at all?
Oh yeah, no, I totally agree.
That's the
Well,
part
we
of
have
this.
to when she does Judgment Righteousness, it makes one of them do 200% more damage. So
Right, that's what I was saying. Yeah.
we've got to burn that one.
It's the triple damage buff, but that's what I don't know. Do you just turn to that one ad and blow them up? Because how often do we know how often the call to arms happens? The call for
I think it's
reinforcements.
every release is sealed. I'm not
Yeah.
sure. Yeah.
she resummons ads after every seal.
And that's like
Wait.
every 40 seconds, or
So she starts the fight with ads up.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. One Crusader, 2 Disciples every
Yeah.
time.
yeah. So the log I'm looking at, which I have in the there's Anointed Disciple, Dark for Crusade, and then it's Mythic, so there's Fallen stuff happening. But they go down in health all the way, and then they die off, and then 2 more are summoned at like 2 minutes into the fight.
Oh, 2 minutes into the fight, so it might be after a
Oh, yeah.
full seal rotation. It's one
It might be
retribution
after the
and one
first.
reckoning.
Yeah, after the Reckoning seal.
Yeah,
Or
so
Retribution seal. What? Yeah, these are really confusing. Double
Everything's the
R.
same.
yeah, Retribution and Reckoning. Yeah,
Yeah,
Paladin
I
stuff.
I don't even know what's
I
happening.
remember having all those abilities back in the day.
Yeah, they took,
Yeah,
give the
yeah.
boss seals for it.
But,
I just checked all the healing done by the app never targeted the boss ever.
Okay, that's good.
Imagine they just healed themselves, which makes
Yeah.
it difficult to kill them if you don't pay attention. That's what I imagine.
And overall, on the entirety of the fight between the entire 20-man raid, they interrupted 22 times. So I don't think they were really putting too much of a priority on that. Otherwise, that'd be way higher.
Isn't there only one cast that's worth interrupting?
Yeah, the penance damage is
Is it?
nothing. It's a tickle. It's 22 per bolt, and there's only 3 bolts. So it's like 60k over 3 seconds. It's
Is
like,
it Divine Burst, which is the 50
Wait,
you get?
Wave of Light.
Wave of Light hurts.
That's not it.
But we'll get to dispels and stuff. I think we're still on the general
Yeah,
stuff. But
it just
that's pretty much it.
the pacing
Divine
of the fight.
Burst is probably the one you want to interrupt.
Well, it looks like nothing on heroic. It's only a 50k. You toggle to mythic, and it definitely goes up to like 55,000. So I mean, that's a quarter of someone's health. That's not nothing. And if they're 2 at a time that are active, then that's 2 people getting chunked for a quarter of their health. It doesn't seem like it's a lot of damage, though. I think
Average hit was 55k, and
right,
which is not nothing. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, we have close to 200,000 HP. So
It also depends on if they're buffed ads or not buffed ads. So if they're buffed ad, like that's gonna rock you. That's like 200k hit there,
Well,
right?
only-
And then that heal
Yeah.
is gonna heal. A
the
lot more.
the buffed ad is only once per retribution's judgment, which
Yeah.
means that's every
That becomes your like number one.
80
priority to
seconds.
kill.
Right.
Yeah.
And we're switching to ads at that point of the fight, anyways, because that's when
Exactly.
she's switching to her
Yeah.
reckoning.
Yeah, it kind of just
So-
seems like control ads move away from move them out of consecration, use solar beams, ranged interrupts just sparingly, and then some monk boops. There is some LOS in the room. How that will affect them, I'm not sure if tanks can actually use that because Blizzard doesn't want us to use LOS on NPCs, only on ourselves. Whatever.
I think that might have been changed actually, because on the Mythic Hill video I have, that tree or whatever, foliage in the middle is
Yeah.
gone.
It's gone.
It's
Oh.
just a big open room now.
Oh,
with some
okay,
dark
okay.
Horde stuff. Well, this is a Horde side, so I'm sure for us Alliance it'll be something different. But the
Oh,
tree is
okay.
gone, which I noticed, which was weird.
Right. Because I didn't know
Yeah,
if we
I'm
could
watching
just.
this
yeah.
Mythic video that Slew linked, and they take the champion far as fuck away,
Sure.
and then they just leave the casters to do whatever the casters want.
Because are they spawning at a set location? I assume.
They make a
spawn like
comment in
around
the video that it's a total fucking RNG.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
completely-
they spawn RNG.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like because they're Horde in this video, and like the Dark Iron moles come up randomly, and that's when they spawn.
Oh.
So they're like, "What the fuck? That's so bull." I
What
don't know
a-
what'll happen for the
For
They
the
probably
alliance
just
version.
like jump down from somewhere. up
Probably
in
from the
town.
buildings. Yeah.
Yeah.
maybe something like that. Yeah,
'Cause we are fighting
But
in
they
there.
definitely made a comment like, "This is totally RNG."
Right. Okay. Yeah. I mean, so like, the wave of light moving the mobs out of it will be on the off tank. Because what I imagine is you still have the tank swap with right. Like you tank swap with Sacred Blade. So
Well, here's another. Is this fight even going to be? Yeah, because you only need to taunt. Realistically, you only need to taunt the anointed champion, and that's it, right? So
Yeah.
it should be fairly easy. And 2 monks will be super good because they just transcendence, boop boop, do their stuff.
that could be a thing. You also think that prop paladin on ads would be hilarious because tons of interrupts for free.
Yeah, Sacred Shield, yeah.
Tons of
But on
interrupts
the
for free.
tank swap,
Yep.
the 3 logs I looked at, they didn't tank swap.
They
They
didn't.
did not.
No, you can. The
Was that
tank can drop
heroic or
stat.
mythic? A log.
mythic.
Look at. Really?
Mythic.
Yeah, including the one I have linked there and 2 others, which I didn't look too closely, and it might all be from the same kill for all I know. I'm pretty sure it's 2 different kills though.
Is
it's Mythic
that
name.
well that those kind of things will let our tanks decide, because that always doesn't seem like a really good. If Sacred Blade starts out at 6.4 thousand holy damage every 2 seconds and then effects just stacks, does it not stack aggressively enough to force you to tank swap, or is the fight not
Stacks
long
every
enough?
5 seconds from
Right.
the look of these logs, and it got up to 5, 9, 9, and 8, and then the fight was over. So we'll have to talk to Gooby and Sam, but they're just chilling. They dropped their stack during some event. Maybe they were kiting like crazy. 'Cause
Is it
a
a
mystery, or a brewmaster? So.
You are
Is
able
it
to
a-
kite it away.
is it a magic damage fight?
Sacred
It's
Blade
mostly
is
holy
magic.
damage.
Well, holy
if Sacred-
damage doesn't count as magic damage because holy is the one school that ignores.
Because
I don't know.
if he could just like do prop paladin things and ignore, right?
Well, that's when. Well, my first thought was, what if Gooby's blood decay on the boss and Sam is prop paladin on the ads?
I would actually
And
say
that's-
I would say the monk would probably, but this video that Slew linked, like the tanks, they just keep it in the corner the entire time.
Yeah,
They
they're
don't
just
move her. Yeah.
Yeah, she just stands.
I
in the
watched
corner
some
the entire
stuff where they were moving her around and like letting the boss chase them to reset the stacks, but that doesn't look like it's a first boss. Why would you just aggressively kite the boss around the room? Yeah, I don't know. Because she,
And is there any warrant to 3 tanking?
That I don't think so.
I don't
Yeah,
think
that was
so.
like my first thing. That's the first thing I thought of too. Was like, is this a 3-tank fight?
Yeah, Gooby on Monk still. Monk or Blood Decay both work. It depends on if ANS will work on the stacks. My only thing is I still like Sam on the ads would have so many shields, just randomly interrupting crap. Just because it's only gonna have 3 ads at a time, and he'll literally bounce his shield into both casters all the time. So, and considering once he gets any of the new Avenger shield traits on any of the new gear, will be really funny.
You
Is
guys
there a
have
trait that lets Avenger Shield interrupt on the bounce? Because right now it's just the first target hit.
No, I'm not talking about the interrupt. Doesn't matter. I mean, like the
Oh, okay.
there's this
Somewhat
good
yes.
there's a good trait for. Let me find it, Alex. I'm curious.
because we'll want a couple monks just to make ads move because that's
Yeah.
easy, right?
Of
Okay,
course.
we'll have
We'll have
fourth healer,
Typhoon
Bella.
as well.
Oh, I can't. You can't preview other classes' armor. What? That's so lame.
In game.
In game, you can't. It won't. It says a preview for this armor is not available for your class. I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
Because
Yeah.
they're all broken except for you.
There's just 2 really good protection paladin Azerite traits that I know about. That one is the wings one, which just turns hand into a lay on hands. Does that little heal, a little 12-second heal into an actual full health heal.
Jesus. What?
Oh, it's Avenging Wrath. I don't know the best way to look up
It's not actually a
these.
lay on hands, right? Like full heal.
It's 200% stronger,
Okay, so it's very okay.
but I mean that's a lot.
Sorry.
That's a lot. Is there an easy way for me to look up?
One of the
The
magical
new-
resources that WoW had.
Well,
Not
yeah,
spawns.
but I don't know if they have all the new stuff. I just don't. I mean, I see a mob full of interruptible things, and I'm just like, okay, what tank has the dumbest interrupts?
Yeah, Paladin for sure.
Yeah.
I'll have to talk to them for sure and see what they wanted. Is that how this goes, or are we just telling them what to play?
For tanks,
Sure.
highly suggesting what they're playing,
Yeah.
Okay.
and of course we all understand what people are good on. So like, I'm not
Yeah.
gonna go to Toll and be like, Toll and play your warlock when
Sure,
he's
sure.
not gonna be good at his warlock versus his mage, right? Like that's
I mean,
we all know
then
who everybody's priority.
I
odds
would
are.
strongly suggest Gooby on his monk because this is a monk who kited or ran or whatever, but dropped
Right.
at some point in time. So it
Yeah.
can be done on a monk. We can bring in the blood decay and see if ENS
Oh, it's
version.
it's the Bulwark of Light trait, which is basically pulled from their artifact. It's Avenger Shield grants you a shield, absorbing an amount of damage over 8 seconds. The current value is like the default base trait level, and it's already 4,000 damage. It's every time you Avenger Shield.
Honestly, Double Monk isn't bad either because they have an AoE kick stun, and then they have Ring of Peace. Like both, like the Monk is good.
Sure.
And the death and the
And Heaven's
both,
Banner.
and the Paladin is good as well.
Yeah.
But we'll.
I like
My
saying
only thing
mine's-
about the Paladin one comes down to if interrupts are important,
Yeah.
and it might be more important in Mythic.
And honestly, like it's a lot of free interrupts, right?
Yeah.
It's a lot of free interrupts.
Well, free interrupts, and again, if he gets any of the Bulwarks of Light traits, it's just a lot of survivability too. Because the more targets hitting you, the more resets you're going to get on shield.
It's
Yeah.
fun.
Oh, Soaring Shield. Is Soaring Shield in the game right now, or is this a new one?
Yeah.
The one where Avenger Shield strikes 4 targets?
It is, yeah. And it increases your mastery or something.
Yeah, flat mastery per
Yeah.
enemy struck.
It's
I'm
good.
assuming it was Lust on Pull, right?
They did, and then they made a comment halfway through the fight. They're like, "Oh, we can lust here," because they're all standing there with their hands in their dicks
Well, that's
for like 8 minutes.
the
fight
weird
seems
part
really
about
dull.
the fight. That's the one part that Alex and Laws talked about in their little wrap up is that I don't know, is that during the reckoning phase, when we're not attacking the boss, what do we do?
Oh, and if the ads are dead.
Because the ads are going to be dead, and the boss is unattackable.
The
I
range
think
doesn't-
it's
melees on the boss that cause
that-
zealotry.
That's supposed to
it's
be
all
the that's the whatchamacallit time when they're supposed to do the Fallen Champion thing in Mythic.
Oh, so that's just prepping for a mythic phase that doesn't exist yet. Okay.
Yeah.
I
so
mean,
prayer-
that's
yeah. That's basically what it's Prayer of the Fallen because they come
Right.
back alive and you have to interrupt them, right?
So we could just move to that then, just so we're on the same page with what that is. That's the only mythic improvement to this entire fight. Nothing else in here is changed.
Salute, it's all attacks, not just.
I know, I'm just fucking with you.
Yeah. Don't give that to ranged. Come on. So
That would be so
the prayer of
fun.
the fallen says,
We'll
yeah,
just
calls for a
go.
moment of prayer for fallen soldiers. All crusaders living or dead cast divine mallet, while all disciples living or dead cast angelic renewal. So angelic renewal, the caster rejuvenates the souls of their champion of the light, healing them for their maximum health. That just seems like a monk bop or a solar beam.
It's a must interrupt.
Yeah, you just boop them
End of
all.
discussion.
Or I mean, it's a thunderstorm. It's a push if they're pushable by typhoon.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's anything at all.
And then divine mallet throws out a light infused mallet in various directions every 1 second for 8 seconds, inflicting holy damage to each player hit. So now that seems like they'll keep doing it.
Uh,
What's
Because
the
that's not
mallet?
interruptible. Not
The
it
divine
just
interruptible.
mallet?
happened.
Yeah, just
So it-
happens. Yeah,
Yeah, so it
dodgeable.
have you
Yes.
ever? Oh yeah, have you played
It's
like?
very dodgeable.
Have you played like the Diablo hammer build? Bay?
It's the Space Invaders.
Yeah.
So
Oh, okay.
That's exactly what it's.
It's a
Diablo
telegraph
hammer.
before the hammer lands and just move.
No,
Yeah,
it's like a
it's,
slow
It's a
spinning hammer.
radiation.
The hammered
That
in.
just
It's
like moves out. It's a hammered in Diablo. Is all. it
Oh,
is.
okay.
Yeah, and you just have to like weave your way in between the hammers.
Oh, those. It's like it's Johanna's hammer. It's not an
Yeah, yeah,
actual.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah, that's fine. So that's just concentric circles.
Yeah.
But yeah,
They
angelic
average
renewal.
hit for 88k.
Yeah, no, it's 80. It's 88,000. Yeah,
they hit hard.
that's scary. Yeah, that's a lot of
Yeah.
damage. That's a 3-tap.
That killed a bunch of people. In
Yeah.
the
So basically, it's the closer you are to that champion, to that primary ad, the more in danger you are of it, obviously.
Yeah.
And the faster you kill the boss, the less of these divine mounts you're gonna have going out.
Because
Because-
each time the prayer of the fallen then is after each, so it's retribution seal, reckoning seal, prayer of the fallen.
Yep.
It looks like so it's one rotation. So the more rotation this you get, the crappier and crappier that's going to be because you'll get 3 to 6 to 9 ads. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
I
it's
think
gonna be-
from the video that we've watched here, it looks like they actually only get like 2 of those hammer things, and it's only
They get
from a
4.
single. Oh, 4, but it's only from a
it-
single ad at each time, right? Or did they get a double?
Well, it's fucked because maybe what I'm looking at here is Frida, what the boss casts Prayer of the Fallen 4 times total. But the first time she casts Prayer of the Fallen, none of the ads should be dead.
Exactly.
But
Three times it happens.
the issue that is from the PTR testing is that the Dungeon Journal says living or dead. So even if the 3 ads live, they should still renewal and mallet.
Yeah.
And when she casts Prayer of the Fallen, they'll immediately start casting their other thing, right?
Yeah,
Like
that's what I'm saying. So, but if the PTR test didn't work when her first cast of Prayer of the Fallen cast, and the ads didn't do anything, it's because it wasn't working. But it sounds like it should. So the first time she casts it, you'll have 3. The second time she casts it, you'll have 6. Third time she casts it, you'll have 9, and so on.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's all so, but you only get ads every 2 minutes though, right?
If it's after, if the seals are 40 seconds and 40 seconds, and roughly, yeah. If that's what you're looking at in the log.
Because we only saw the ads every 2 minutes.
Sure.
So if you kill the boss in 4 minutes, you only have to deal with 2 hammers.
Well,
Right.
that log was the 3 minutes. So.
3 minutes.
Oh wow, this is the crap. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you
So-
just nuke the crap out of the boss, right?
Yeah,
but
They're
you
all
just
doing
you just
exceptional
don't.
damage, but yeah.
Yeah, but that's the thing is, are we healing through the reckoning phase and just tunneling her as well, or do we actually not
They
attack
didn't.
the boss?
It was hanging out for. It ended up being like 8 seconds of just like, okay, cool.
Just pull in their thumbs.
8 seconds. So is the phase
Something like
not interesting?
Well,
Okay.
because it took them a bit to kill the ads, and then when the
Yeah.
ads die, you kind of sit there.
Yeah. Are we on the weird thing about ad control now, we're not going to have rings and solar beams for like any types of rotation, stuff like that. So I think if the angelic renewal, if we're going to have a brewmaster tanking the ads, that should be their ring because they're right there and they can just cast at self macro and just push the ads immediately and they can see them. No one else has to be called to solar beam or interrupt or push them or like that, and then we can. It depends. Is it one cast interrupted and they're just done?
Yeah, it depends if it's a chain cast or not. That's the only
Can
thing.
you?
Yeah.
What's angelic renewal again?
The caster, this is from the ads.
It-
This is
it
the
comes from
the
the
disciples. The
For sure.
caster rejuvenates soul, their champion of light, healing them to their maximum health. So they heal the crusaders.
Yeah, that straight up didn't exist in this law. They never once cast angelic renewal. So that's a new thing or something. At least when they PTR tested it, the disciples were not casting
But
it.
they just probably weren't casting it. I just don't know. Something like this sounds like it's a big cast that either is a one and done shotgun, but it's like a 1 second cast, or no matter how many times you interrupt them, there's a period of time where they will try chain casting it, requiring multiple interrupts. I just don't know which design that's going to be because obviously it didn't work on the PTR.
Sounds like the Void Bolt from Zethra. Or Zekfaz, sorry. Where it was just like set up an interrupt rotation and just never let them get that cast off. Pretty
Well, there'll
simple.
be the one thing about that is there'll be 2 disciples the first time, then 4 disciples the next time, which is fine because during this we're on the ads, and there could very well be either a DBM hook or a weak aura that marks each disciple, so we can assign an interrupter per disciple potentially as well as backup. But obviously, a push or a typhoon or a thunderstorm or a solar beam is going to lock them out for quite a while when they're
We also
dead.
we also
Yeah.
may not want a lot, because depending on where these 2 are at, we may not want
Sure.
them going very far and
mean,
close to the melee, because it's gonna be a hell of a lot harder to dodge hammers.
Just toilet bowl them too. Put your
Yeah.
Ursula's-
Oh yeah, Ursul's down. But like, it's just I want them to be kept in like, I don't know if we want the 2 disciples being tanked on the champion. Or
Oh, I
what's
see
his
what you
name?
mean. Move the champion away in Mythic. Oh.
Or you just like run it away from the 2 casters, because at least then it's not going to be like you can kill those 2 quickly and interrupt them quickly and not have to worry about, because the other person's going to be channeling the spinny hammers right there, and
Yeah.
it's a lot easier to dodge at the spinny hammers if the ad's far away versus closer.
It very well could be melee on the disciples. But the thing is, like, the way like about Prayer of the Fallen, if it wasn't working properly on the PTR, we don't know how it's going to work. Is it, when it reses the dead versions, is it an attackable thing? Can
it
you,
has to be.
like, does it res them just with full health again? Or are they a lower health version?
Or like a time dad maybe too.
Like a timed ad? Yeah, it's up for a certain amount of time and then goes away.
It's probably a timed ad.
Because if we're attacking them, then it might very well be the melee are on the disciples, and then the ranged are on the crusader. Because you're totally right. We're not standing in melee range when they spin a hammer around like Johanna, and the first wave is going to just plunk us right in the head.
So there was, while they weren't casting their abilities correctly, they did exist in this kill, and they start with 100%, and then they stay above 90% the whole time, and then just So I don't really know what's going on with this, and they don't last for like 8 seconds. They were up for a full minute.
Right.
So they didn't lose any health. So
if you're looking at the log that you sent in their kill, if you go to about a minute 25 in the video, you'll see a fallen disciple come, which means that I believe that's a dead disciple that's been rezzed.
Right.
Or sorry, it's about at a minute, just before, like a minute 20, you'll see the fallen disciple, and it stays there for a while at like 90%, and then it just disappears.
That's just that's the one thing that we don't know. I don't know how to deal with, is how.
So go to a minute 18 in that log and watch the replay, and then click on Frida. You'll see her cast Prayer of the Fallen. She'll be buffed for, it looks like about 8 seconds, maybe 10.
Yeah.
But she is buffed herself for a certain amount of time, and then when that goes away, the ad just disappears.
Hmm.
And it looks like they're trying to damage the fallen one, and then they like fuck up.
Yeah.
Because I saw a bunch of melee swarm there, and then just bang. And this is now at a minute 30 where they're just standing there with their dicks in their hands.
So that's.
They just interrupted it one time, it looks like.
One interrupt and they just stand there. So if they can't be pushed, like if they're turrets, then that's just a solar beam. If it's that far apart, solar beam, it's any ranged interrupt because you can just turn and interrupt them if they're not pushable.
Let's see, how many fallen disciples did they? It looks like they had 5 fallen disciples.
It's an uneven number. That doesn't make any sense. Well, if
Yeah.
I guess when she cast it and you saw it in a live one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they had okay, the 4th one actually doesn't exist at all, it looks like. Or the 4th and 5th one don't exist. But basically, so there's 3 fallen disciples and 2 fallen crusaders.
Okay. Yeah.
And the second one doesn't look like it really exists either because there's no data on it.
Sure.
So
It just-
basically, you want to kill them. You want to keep them alive until after she like, you kill one during it, I guess.
I think it's just interrupt them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just kill them and interrupt them and ignore it.
Like, they didn't lose any. The fallen didn't lose any life.
Yeah.
None of them.
Okay.
All,
Yeah.
The lowest they got was 90%, and then
Okay.
they kind of like.
So it's probably like the Warcraft 3 ability where you res all your people,
Yeah.
or the animated dead thing where they're alive for a bit and then they go away.
And they
after
go
they're dead.
away.
Yeah.
So the overall cadence of the fight looks a lot like, I mean, open up on the boss. In this case, we would be attacking
Lust.
Rawani. Yeah, open up Lust. And burn. And then she will judgment an ad. And then it's probably going to be a raid swap to all the ads, prioritizing the judged ad. Burn them all down. And then during that, she puts up Reckoning. How long is Seal of Reckoning lasting?
40 to 50 seconds.
But that's the one where we're not going to attack her.
Right,
Yeah, Seal of Reckoning.
Yeah.
So she casts her first Prayer of the Fallen at like 25 seconds into the fight.
She gained Seal of Reckoning at 53 seconds into the fight and lost it on a minute 40. So 45 seconds.
Oh, she cast Prayer of the Fallen like on the pull.
I didn't see it on the poll. I saw it 30 seconds into the fight.
Well, that's pretty early. Yeah. Okay. That just means
Yeah,
you
'cause
have to,
they-
and they'll be alive. The ads will be alive at that point. Basically, you'll be switching to them.
That's we did it very wrong. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm definitely feeling the Divine Mallet pull the Crusader away, or at least it has to be a heavy dodge awareness for the melee. But that's it's only that's scary for us. Like, it's no big deal.
Wonder how hard they melee, or if like mask and taunted and just go like fuck off for a while. Or
Yeah, I
they
don't
give
know.
markers and
Taunted out,
flash at the
you mean?
taunt. Yeah, or like I can even go taunted
Yeah,
if
taunted
it doesn't
out.
like whack me.
Well, what I'm trying to wonder about, like, the cadence of the fight is that we're on the boss, then we're on the ads, and then she reses ads. We have to deal with the resed abilities, then we're back on the boss, and then their new ads come out.
How do I copy a time on a video?
So that's basically it's an ABC. So it's boss damage, ad effect, cleanup, and then back on the boss again. Because we're not attacking or doing during reckoning.
If you're watching this video, you can see that the angelic renewal is probably like a 5 to 6 second cast.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like watch it.
Oh,
Watch
I mean,
that.
it's oh, does it not
Like,
start
it's-
at the 10
like, it's
seconds?
slow. Like you can just kind of like see it moving, and it's moving real slow.
Oh, yeah,
that
it's a-
cast.
Their
what-
little bigwigs timer is 10 seconds completely. Is she? Yeah, she just stands there, casts
Yeah.
it.
Well, the two of them cast it, but the first one got interrupted like immediately.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah, like the angelic renewal cast it's a single interrupt, and it's a slow.
Yeah. And it's gonna full heal her if we don't. So
Yeah, so-
it's a fucking interrupter wipe.
Yeah, pretty much exactly.
Easy peasy.
I don't see. Oh, the hammers actually don't go in a concentric circle. They just fly sort of straight out in a line.
It's like radio because he's kind of like turning as he does it.
Yeah. Okay. I don't see the disciple casting.
So it's like it's if you're at 32, like go to 29 seconds,
Yeah.
and you'll see like the two disciples like in the middle there. They're both casting it, and they're casting it slow, and one of them gets interrupted immediately, and the other one's still casting angelic renewal.
Wait,
and
I
it
don't...
looks
See a audio going, or somebody's complaining about getting both kicks on them.
Oh, it looks like. Oh, I have it muted. Oh, it does look like they just kind of let the disciples do whatever, and they pull the big one
Far guy
away.
away.
Yeah. That's the
And
one thing
it's
that's
very-
weird about this fight is that when the ads are alive, Wave of Light always will go after the ads, which means the raid just ignores that entire mechanic essentially. Because there's
And
just
if it
no.
doesn't, it targets us, so we might have to spread because the wave of light dot from hitting a friendly, actually like friendly for us, enemy for her, is actually really hard to hitting. It's like pretty nerve-wracking how.
Well, look how slow it moves, but we'll get hit by it. I'm sure we will.
So that's
Yeah.
the keep us.
But like if we're all stacked up in
melee will
SLP
get
or
hit
something,
by it. Melee will
Yeah.
get hit by it.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm
'cause
worried
it
about
spawns
going
on her.
regular raid.
Yeah.
we're all gonna die.
Well,
Yeah.
it's. What, Decky?
I said that prevents us from burning the ads down and just simplifying it.
Correct, because then you cause yourself more problems. Yeah.
We just not bring any melee.
Well, that doesn't
Yeah,
make any difference.
I've already-
Then
I've
all the
already
ranged
thought
have to
about
move. All the ranged have to move. So it
But,
doesn't
like, the-
doesn't do anything.
You'll notice that like all the range basically huddle around the Jade Serpent's issues, and they don't move the entire fight.
Right, because they're not murdering the ads all the time. The waves of light are going out there. Yeah. I mean, the wave of light hitting us is only 32,000 damage, but it seems like because it moves so slow, it might have an intermediate tick rate where it ticks multiple times.
Yeah, it ticks for 7 seconds.
It takes
Yeah.
pretty.
Once it hits you, it leaves a dot on you, basically.
Well, if it's the flip of the same thing, it's only a 5% of our max health every 1 second. That's not terrible.
Its average hit was about 64,000.
So
On
the
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 second.
dot version on us is
On
not
us, yeah.
correlated to the actual ability then. Yeah.
No, it does a lot.
Well,
So
okay.
that's good.
If it's how much HP do the ads have? Is that 64,000 5% of their health?
Maybe.
That literally could be how it's coded. That it heals for 5% of their health, but that's the amount of health that it heals for. So the dot on us is 5% of the mob's health, not 5% of ours, but the actual Crusader or the Disciple's health. That might be how it's coded. That's why it hits so hard. I mean, that's a 3-tap for sure.
The anointed disciples have 986,000 HP. 5% of that is about what? What's
Math.
with 5% of a million, 50K?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah,
it's about
50,000. Just about. So it's somewhere in there. Well, the thing is, it's also impacted by zealotry, right?
that. True. Yeah, the Crusaders have even more. They have 2.7 million.
Oh, well, yeah. So there's something in there that's tied to the mob health, not our health. Okay. But I mean, dodging that shouldn't be a big deal.
No, it's just
As long as we know... The weird part about it is, it looks like it spawns and hits the melee when it spawns, but it's not hitting the melee. There are melee standing in it. I don't know if they have the dot on them.
they don't.
Yeah, because it might not register until it fully completes its spawn and starts moving. Yeah.
Which is it hopefully because like that's just not unfair. That's an unfair ability for melee then.
Yeah.
So just interrupt the ad.
Yeah.
Interrupt angelic renewal.
That doesn't seem too bad.
Bolt that crap.
But yeah, it's just an ABC fight, essentially. Just ABC.
It's the first boss.
I know.
Like,
Yeah, right.
It's not supposed to be like, oh my god.
Yeah, you say that, but I don't want to take 40 wipes on
Yeah.
first boss like we have history of doing.
Whoa!
80 on the second boss, regardless of being bugged or not.
You know,
So, Kraber, how much do you want me going into healer shit in these? It's just
go
me?
hard. Go hard, dude.
Well, I mean, like, I have a shit ton of research done, but I don't know if sharing a healer is useful if we're like gonna have a healer meeting, which I hope we're gonna have a healer meeting.
Both. Probably healer made. I don't know, Bay, do you want to hear healer stuff or no? I'm fine with going into it. Here. then
Well, we have like
double
5
double.
minutes left on our hour-ish timer, so
Yeah. We rambled quite a bit, but that's
Yeah.
fine.
Basically,
it's just-
this fight
it's just going
is
over.
a shit show, and the stuff like whenever the retribution order is up, that's when we're gonna need to go ape shit.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's like Mithrax, basically. We're gonna regen in the intermission. And
We'll have to really know that Reckoning is a no attack, because it's probably like every dot application gives her a stack. So people are going to try to scumbag it anyway, like, oh, I'm going to put dots up, and then you're going to buff her by like 9 more stacks and kill our tank. So we need to make sure that we can like try it out and see if all of a sudden like auto shots from hunters and pets are just double stacking her, then we're not going to worry about that. But that's where the cheese comes in, that like you do like one, it's going to come down to that like we did with Fetid recently, right? Where we had to do 3 full rotations of Fetid Devour first, and now we only do 2. So now
Yeah,
this
but-
one, do we do 3 full rotations to be safe or whatever? Or do we just do 1 full rotation and then just burn her through it? Yeah.
I think 2.
I think.
Oh, like killing her with her reckoning thing?
Right.
Kill her through
Yeah.
before
Kill her
she-
through Reckoning. Yeah.
I don't
Like,
know
we
if boss has
do-
that much health.
This is a 3-minute kill. It's PTR health, which is obviously, you know, PTR
Yeah.
health. But that's what I'm wondering. So we do like one full rotation of A seal, B seal, resd adds back on boss, and then we just burn the whole way.
Well, the res dads are only like a time limit too, right?
Right, that's what I mean. I'm just saying like that's the fight cadence. Instead of going seal 1, seal 2, resd add, seal 1, seal 2, resd add, seal 1, seal 2, resd add, seal 1 again, maybe she dies by then. Or it's just do one set safe and then
We'll know
just
more on
burn
the day
her.
released.
When are they killing? So the reckoning is the one that is the
Yeah, they're
Don't
just
attack.
burning her through the reckoning.
yeah. They're
looks
burning
like
her
it-
through the reckoning.
Yeah, it looks like it's, but I don't know if that's going to be a thing because of PTR.
Right. PTR,
Because
we'll know
if-
more on the day of release once the day raiders kill.
Oh, of course, of course.
But like from basically 18% to dead, they were just hitting her.
Yeah.
They in the comms and the YouTube video, Jesus Christ, I couldn't think of that word. They're just like, yeah, just fucking stay on boss and kill.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I don't think, unless they overtune Reckoning, I think you'll do 1 rotation safe, and then you'll just burn.
Them,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
This is
you'll
Mythic, not even a rogue, so I'm sure.
exactly. That's a mythic
POV.
POV. Exactly. That's what I'm wondering. Unless they overtune something, yeah, or
hope they don't
tune
do the
in
Reckoning
response to, yeah.
Yeah, and like the raid health isn't even moving during
It's a
that.
joke. It doesn't
Yeah.
do anything. The
yeah.
retribution wave is so much more concerning than the big AOE oh shit moment.
How much
Yeah.
healing did they do?
It tickles. It's like, come on.
But this is stuff that we want to contend for. It's the first boss, but you never know.
For sure.
Because they could always tune up these numbers in the day that the patch goes live. So
They also 5 healed that fight.
Yeah, they 5 heal.
that looks like you could 4 if not
heal.
3 heal.
I was gonna say 3 heal, honestly.
Yeah.
This is if we can just pump our asses off during the retribution seal retribution, motherfucker.
Or
Yeah,
if you're
That's it.
Like they
Or
did a
if
ton
you-
of healing though, too, right?
Yeah, it's a lot of damage, but then you sit on your ass. So 4
Yeah.
heal I think is the way to go.
4 heal, Bella just sits on the boss and DPSs until she needs to.
That's my
No,
job.
the paladins.
Oh, that's Saloon's job. Okay.
Fist Weaving's dead.
I'm sitting.
No, it's not. Come on.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Fist Weaving's fun.
It's there, but it's kind of dead.
It's fine.
It'd be better off if I was,
our healing meeting.
it'd be better off if I was cat weaving on the boss than Bella hitting it.
Yo, cat weaving is legit though.
I love cat weaving.
Well, I know.
Feral Druid is so buffed. It buffed Resto Druid so much. So yeah, get in
I've
there.
actually noticed that. Yeah.
It's stupid. It's stupid. Yeah.
That's
But-
our hour.
Yeah, if you
that's
guys
alright.
want to go over healing stuff, I think that's basically it. The only thing I'm really concerned about is the damage spike on the seal phases, because it seems like it's way undertuned, and then just how I want to deal with the res dads. Otherwise, I think
in the future
there- if-
healing will be discussed in like the healer specific meeting, and I'll just give
Yeah.
like big over sweeping generalization.
yeah,
If the what the fuck, man? If the ads are only live for 8 seconds, it's like they get res, you interrupt them. So like, for instance, if we get like, say if this fight is 5 minutes for us,
sure.
and there'll be six disciples, and we just need to interrupt 6 disciples, and that's it.
No, it'll be
And then
4. It'll be
otherwise-
4 disciples.
Well, yes, yeah, you're right. Sorry, yeah. So say if
It'd
it's
be
5
4
like,
by then, yeah.
we need to interrupt four disciples, and it's like, okay, we interrupt the 4 disciples, the boss is dead.
Yeah.
That's basically it, and it's just dodge the double hammer. Like the double hammer thing, I think could be really annoying to deal with.
It'd be
So that's why I
spicy,
think you wanna
but
kill it as quickly
yeah.
as possible.
That makes sense. I mean, it's that's fine. Yeah, I like that.
Any unanswered questions that we need to figure out, or no? The blinding faith thing. Don't look at the one ad that does it, which is pretty easy when the entire raid is not looking at it and it's far off behind you.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna bring up blinding fate. That's more of a tank thing, because if the tank gets
literally
blinded, the ad will go
tank.
free. Yeah.
Yeah. It's literally a tank.
And do we know how often she bops? Because the boss will bop a random ally. She casts
Oh.
divine protection. I don't know how
That's
often.
not the bop.
Hmm?
That's the damage reduction. It's not a true mean.
Does she do it to herself and that's it? It's just like a.
She does it to an ad.
Yeah. Okay.
It just needs to be dispelled.
Yeah, it's 6 seconds.
It's only a 6-second thing that has a 30-second forbearance, so I didn't know if it was important or not. The thing is, I don't know if
it's
it's.
a forbearance. Wow.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
forbearance
it
on
is
them.
forbearance.
What a nerf.
But
So basically, we just offensive dispel it.
okay,
Corey.
Corey's job.
Yeah, yell at Corey.
Okay, that sounds good. So outside of some damage numbers, that should be everything then.
Oh, okay, and she basically gets the 30% buff in the from 30%.
Yeah, her end rate.
She just
Yeah.
avenging wraths, yeah.
Yeah.
Which is why I wonder, like, if you
Plus the-
avenging wrath plus reckoning sounds spicy, but it doesn't look spicy in the video. So that's why I wonder about numbers tuning. We'll have to see. We'll
The
have
way
to
I
see.
see it going down is like it's like the burn if you're going to stay on her, because if you keep attacking her through reckoning, you get all those zealotry. If she gets judgment reckoning off, your raid's gone, because you've now given her like fucking gajillion stacks
Right.
of zealotry. So it's like kind of like the call: like, do we push or do we not?
Yeah, I kind of wonder. I wonder if you hero on the pull and go slow, or save hero and then just burn her after a rotation. Yeah. Because heroism executes would be a thing to get around that.
Yeah. So I'll leave Lust on pull for now, and then test.
Yeah.
Like, I guess that's something we see on Heroic and see if we like it there or not.
Yeah, well, because the pacing of the fight's the exact same. We would do the exact same thing on Heroic to Mythic. The only thing in Mythic is we just have that intermission interrupt phase with the ads and the dodging. That's it. But that's when we're
so
already
there's-
not attacking the boss, so it doesn't change anything. quite the same. Well, I will cut that bit and wrap on that here. That was the first little raid boss breakdown for the Champion of the Light. Just sort of going through the different resources we have, logs, videos, and things to dev out the important things about the raid bosses in the battle for Dazar'alor. So that was the first one. And I'll probably have to record a little intro for this later.